That's the first time Lola actually came and said hi to me.
Wow.
You look like one.
Do you have a snossage? She likes snossages.
That's a personal question.
Right.
Really?
You don't have to
What
answer.
kind of class is this?
All right. You don't have to answer. Anywhere you'd like. Lola's just like, where do I go? This is what we need to know.
I just want to make sure I'm on the camera.
Yes. I'm doing everything in my power to keep you on the camera. Oh, here comes Lee in her Uber.
Nice to see you. Lee's coming? What?
I'm imagining that's who's pulling up out front in the Uber.
I'm about to move it. All right, so we'll just keep in touch so you don't let him. She's going to have to sit in the middle.
Right smack dab.
Somebody's giving her a ride. I only hesitate because I have to move to a store.
We will be getting started in just a minute. We have one more straggler. Mm-hmm. Lola, you're on film now. Behave yourself. Oh, my precious. Oh, my precious. My precious.
He's the first person I ever met in the store.
Really?
What a class you have. Full of surprises.
It's where you want to go if you want to be in the know. I just made that up.
I think it's a class of has-beens.
Well, tired, old,
washed up,
husband.
dried out.
We are going to be doing pigeon pose today, so if you don't have a block, I suggest you get one or a pillow. And if you want one of these pillows, they're right around the corner there. It just helps for a modification to the pigeon. We're going to work on a little bit of hips today, hippie chick class. Is Lee coming in? Is that her? I don't know if that's Lee or not. Maybe. Nobody got out of the car? Oh, maybe I made it up. It wasn't Lee. I was going to say that's a Mercedes doing Uber. All right. So we're gonna start seated today. So taking yourself into an easy seated position. So just a couple of reminders that this class is really more about mindfulness and breathing than it is whether you can touch your toes or not. So I want you to really pay attention to your spine. I like to sit up on a block or a pillow. It just takes some of the strain out of the spine. So if it feels like you're sitting and it's a big effort to sit up straight and tall, sit on a block, sit on a pillow. So an easy seated position, just closing your eyes, remembering we're breathing in through our nose, down into our diaphragm so that the diaphragm expands. As you exhale, see if you can hold that tall and lengthened posture with ease. Starting to bring your awareness to the depth of your breath, to the weight of your body on the floor. We're going to take a deep inhale, really lengthen your spine, reaching the top of your head up towards the sky. As you exhale, gently let your chin drop towards your chest. So we're just going to start with getting some cervical mobility. No struggles and no strains. You want to bring your attention to what it is you feel, to the depth of your breath. As you exhale, just gently let your right ear come to your right shoulder. If you want to push your left elbow down towards the floor, that just anchors the pose a little bit, gives you a little bit more to that stretch. Your next exhale, let your head drop back, your chin pointing gently up towards the sky. No pinching or pain in the neck. If it feels like that, just drop your chin down to a more neutral position. Feel the gentle stretch up the front of your throat. And then your left ear comes to your left shoulder. Gently pushing your right elbow to the floor if you'd like to just anchor that pose a little. Breathing deeply, exhaling slowly. And then ending with your chin back on your chest again. As you inhale, bring your chin up to neutral, let your arms float up towards the ceiling. So your shoulder blades are down and away from your ears. You're not trying to pinch your ears, you're not trying to reach all the way there. The stretch is all actually from the bottom of your shoulder blade up to your fingers. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, let your right hand drop to the floor, let your left arm reach up and over. So you're looking up at your arm if that doesn't bother your neck. If you have pain in the neck, then just look forward. It's perfectly fine. You want to find an expression of each and every pose that you can hold with ease. pushing down into your left hip so it doesn't raise up off the floor. Just reach that left arm over more. Inhale, feel the rib cage as it expands. Bring the awareness to where you are in this moment. Take another deep inhale. With an exhale, bring your right hand back up to meet your left. And then we'll take it to the opposite side, always moving as you exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale, left hand touches down, right arm reaches up and over. Try to make sure that your chest is facing the wall towards the floor, looking up at your arm if it doesn't bother your neck, and breathing gently. Deep inhales, slow exhales. Feel that right rib cage expand with your next breath. As you exhale, see if you can reach just a little further. And then take a deep inhale. With the exhale, bring both arms back up to the ceiling, lengthening your spine. Deep inhale, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, your left hand comes to your right knee. Your right hand comes to the floor behind you, pushing down into the floor to help lengthen your spine. So remember, if it doesn't feel good in your spine, we want to make a modification. Ease in each and every pose where you can bring your focus and attention back to the depth of your breath or the feeling of the stretch. A deep inhale pushes down into that hand to help you lengthen your spine. Slow exhale, trying to round yourself just a little bit further. No struggles, no strains. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then with your next exhale, just bring your chest back to face forward. We're going to take it to the other side, inhaling the arms up, creating the space to allow for the rotation to the opposite side. Your left hand comes to the floor, pushing down gently to help lengthen your spine. Looking over your left shoulder if that doesn't bother your neck. Breathing deeply. Closing your eyes. Bring your awareness to this moment, what it is you feel, or the depth of your breath. If your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the experience on the mat. One more deep inhale, really push down into that back hand to help you lengthen. One more slow exhale, trying to rotate just a little further if it's available to you. Breathing, inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. Bring yourself back towards the front. Take a deep inhale, let your arms rise up. As you exhale, bring your hands behind your head, just interlace your fingertips. So they're just there behind your back. We're going to do a little bit of extension. So as you inhale, you're rocking back, you're pushing your elbows to the back of the room, you're lifting your chin and your chest. As you exhale, gently round forward, pulling your elbows together, doing what we call a posterior pelvic tilt. That means pulling your belly into your spine, pushing the air out. Inhale, let your belly spill out into your lap, an anterior pelvic tilt. The elbows go back, the chin and the chest lift. Exhale, round forward. Inhale it up, follow your own breath. Fill your belly with air. As you exhale, gently round forward. No pain, no pressure in the back. One more time, inhaling as you come up, really spreading that chest open wide. Exhaling it, rounding it forward. We're going to bring it up to a straight and tall spine. Just keep those elbows out to the side, those fingertips laced. We're going to take a deep inhale. With an exhale, bring your right elbow over to your left knee. So just a forward bend with a little rotation. Inhale it back up, push the elbows back, lift the chin and the chest. Exhale it to the opposite side, the left elbow towards the right knee. Inhale it up. We're going to go one more time to each side. Exhale it, right elbow to left knee, forward flexion with a little rotation. We're just playing with mobility of the spine. Inhale it up. One more time over to the right. And then bring it back up. Take a deep inhale. Let your arms rise up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, fold forward, bringing your forehead towards the floor. So if you'd like, you can take your hands and flip them over. So the backs of your hands are on the floor, the palms are facing up, and then just gently push down into the backs of your hands. It's just a way of disengaging your latissimus dorsi. It's the muscle that goes from your shoulder blade all the way down to your hip, pulling your belly into your spine. Breathe. Feel the expansion of the rib cage out to the sides. Exhale slowly. Taking a deep inhale here. With an exhale, walk your chest over towards the left so you're folded over your left leg. Again, pushing gently down on the backs of your hands if you'd like, or just leave them resting. It's perfectly fine. Make sure that your right hip doesn't lift up off the ground, so gently push down into that right hip. And as you inhale, feel the expansion of that rib cage on that right side. As you exhale, melt. Deep inhale to the belly. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, walk your chest over to your right leg. Just folding over the right leg, gently pushing down into your left hip. Push down on the backs of your hand. If that's how you're expressing this pose, it's perfectly fine. And breathe. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. Slowly bring your hands back to your knees and use your arms to help push yourself back up. Well, hello. We're going to straighten your legs out right out in front of you, one at a time, getting them long sitting. This is another place where sitting up on a pillow can be helpful. If you're sitting with your legs out straight and it feels like you're rounded in the spine or it feels like strain, have a pillow or have a block underneath of your legs. Pulling the toes back, take a deep inhale, your arms rising up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, fall halfway forward, fingertips pointing to where the wall meets the ceiling. As you inhale, reach out through your fingertips. As you exhale, let them fall down to meet your feet or your ankles. Wherever your hands touch is perfectly fine, even if that means just at your knees. Try to keep the kneecaps pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Try to gently push the back of your knees down towards the floor. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. As you exhale, if you've got it available, you can fold further forward, but find the expression of the pose you hold with ease. Try to pull your belly gently towards your spine. As you exhale, if you fall further forward, that's great. If not, that's okay as well. And breathe. Deep inhale, lengthen. Slow exhale, fold further forward if it's available to you. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale, and then we'll slowly unwind, bringing your back up to straight. What we're going to do is take your left knee and bring it into your chest. We're going to take your right hand and hold your left ankle. Your left hand holds your left knee and just begin to rock it back and forth. So we're going to start to open up those hip joints, preparing for our head-standing, dolphin-oriented pigeon.
Tree.
Or something like that, a tree. Just rock that knee back and forth. Then if you want to try and take it up a little bit further, you can do that, but not letting your back round. So if your back has to cave in order to get there, just drop that ankle back down. You can take that ankle and bring it into the bend of your elbow and bring it up closer to your chest. Find the expression of the pose that you can hold with ease. Brilliant. And then we're going to go ahead and set that one back down and do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So bringing your right knee into your chest, holding your right ankle with your left hand. You can hold that. I'm talking backwards, so just confuse me. Take your right hand, hold your right knee. Your left hand holds your right ankle, and then begin to rock it back and forth. Try to keep that spine straight and tall. Beautiful. I don't know what I'm doing. Take that elbow if you'd like and just rest the ankle right in there and bring it closer into your chest. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. Brilliant. We're going to put that one down. We're going to put that right foot on the outside of your left knee. So your left leg stays straight. Your right foot goes on the outside of your left knee. We're going to take both arms and just wrap it around that knee. Drop your chin in towards your chest. Posterior pelvic tilt to pull your belly to your spine, just a small rounding of your low back. As you breathe deeply into your belly, you should feel it pressing into your thighs. As you exhale, just round further forward. No struggle, no strain. So this is one of the ways that you can modify pigeon. When we're doing the full pigeon later, if that's not good for your knees or your back or anything else, you can just take this position. It's perfectly fine. Breathe. Breathe deeply into your belly. As you exhale, bring your chest back up. You're going to take your left elbow and wrap it around that right knee really tight, bringing your back nice and straight. Inhale your right arm up to the sky, reach. Exhale it to the floor behind you, pushing down into the floor, turning towards your right. If it doesn't bother your neck, look that way. Try to keep that left leg active, the toes pulled back, the heel gently reaching forward, closing your eyes and just breathing here for a moment. Find ease in the expression of your pose. So if you close your eyes and the thought that gently drifts into your mind is that this pose sucks, back out of it. Find an expression of each and every pose that you can do with ease, or just don't do it. Find what's right for your body. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly bring your chest back towards the front. So you can stay just as you are, or you can try to bend that left knee underneath of you. So you can have your pose look just like this, or you can try and stack your knees one on top of the other. Lola's going to show us how to do it the right way. So if your knees are stacked one on top of the other, make sure that your hips are not lifted up off the ground. You have different expressions of the pose. Sitting up on a block can make something easier. Just close your eyes however you're expressing the pose and breathe. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, either stay right where you are or fold forward, bringing your chin towards your knee or your chest to fold over. Close your eyes and feel that stretch in that right hip. Wherever you are, it doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be acrobatic. It has to be what feels right for you, where you can bring the focus back to the depth of your breath or the feeling of the stretch. No struggles, no strains. Take a really deep breath and just bring your awareness to the sensations of that breath as it enters in through your nose, down to the lungs. See if you can keep your attention focused as you exhale, feeling the sensations of the breath as it leaves. And then slowly, if you're folded forward, unfold. It might get a little noisy over here. It looks like they're coming to work next door. So once you get unfolded, just take your legs and straighten them out. Both legs are out in front of you. Toes are pulled back. Heels are reaching forward. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale halfway forward, just to where your fingertips meet or pointing to where the wall meets the ceiling. Inhale out through your fingertips and then try and let them come down to the bottoms of your feet, to your ankles or to your calves, wherever they find themselves. It's perfectly fine. Lengthening your spine with each inhale, folding further forward if it's available on the exhale. Kneecaps pointed straight up, gently pushing the backs of your knees down into the floor, breathing deeply, exhaling slowly. No struggles and no strains. One more deep inhale here. Really create space. Lengthen. As you exhale, fold further forward if it's available. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Take a deep inhale here. We're going to take that left foot and bring it to the outside of your right knee. We're going to wrap both arms around that knee and then just drop your forehead down towards your knee. Breathe here. Breathe so that your belly fills with air. You feel it pressing against that thigh. Exhaling slowly. No struggles and no strains. Make sure that right leg is stayed active, gently pulling the toes back, gently reaching that right heel forward. Take a deep inhale, straightening your spine, pulling that knee into your chest. As you exhale, see if you can pull it in a little deeper. As you inhale, take your left arm up to the ceiling, create space, reach for the sky. As you exhale, rotate to your left. Pushing that hand down to the floor can help with the pose. Remember, no strain and no struggle. You can use the block underneath of your hips. Breathe. Close your eyes for a moment and find the place in your body that feels tight or restricted. Imagine that you're filling that space with air as you inhale. As you exhale, imagine that it's melting and releasing. One more deep inhale here. One more slow, purposeful, mindful exhale. And then slowly bring your chest back to the front. So you have those options. You can either stay right where you are. You can bend that right knee underneath you coming into the half pose, or you can take the full pose by stacking your knees one on top of the other. This is a really deep stretch of the hip, so it doesn't feel right for you. Don't allow your ego to push you deeper into it. So staying right where you are, just breathing deeply, or with an exhale, begin to bring your chin down towards your chest, or if your knees are stacked, folding your chest right on top of the knees, breathe. Close your eyes and bring your attention to a space of stillness, a place where you can just feel the stretch, or bring the attention to the depth of your breath, without struggle, without strain. Breathe. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, melt one more time. And then slowly begin to bring your chest back up, slowly straightening both legs out back in front of you. One more forward fold here, because why not? Take a deep inhale to your belly, lengthening your spine. As you exhale, fold halfway forward, fingers pointing to where the wall meets the ceiling. Inhale, reach out through that space, and then fold forward. Engaging your quadricep muscles, pushing down the back of your knees towards the floor. That just helps to disengage your hamstrings. It allows you to stretch just a little bit more. Each inhale lengthens your spine. Each exhale tries to fold just a little further forward. Breathe. No struggles, no strains. Just remember that every little thing is going to be all right. For those of you that recognize the musical stylings. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale, unfolding. So we're going to take a little bit deeper of a hip stretch here. What I'm going to ask you to do is take your right leg, lift it up, and bring that right foot to the outside of your left knee. And then gently let that knee drop. So if that feels like it's too much for your hip, just take that foot and bring it to the bottom, just below your ankle. If it's still too much, just bring it so that your foot rests against the thigh. It doesn't matter as long as you get that knee headed towards the floor. So you can either stay here just like this or bring your hands to the floor, bending your left knee. So that takes it a little bit deeper. This is also another modification for pigeon. So if you feel like the pigeon, in full when we get there is too much for you, you can do this. You can stay right there, or you can bring your hips even closer to your heel. Find the expression of the pose that allows you to gently open that right hip without pinching and without pain. Close your eyes for a moment. Bring your attention to where you feel the tightness. Imagine that you're expanding that area with your breath. So as you inhale, it expands. As you slowly exhale, you allow the tension to leave along with the breath. So you don't have to let it all go at once, but if you can just release 10% of the tightness, that'll do. Breathe. So you have a choice now. You can either stay right here as you are, or if you want to do a little strengthening, walk your hands back behind you, lift your hips from the ground, and bring yourself into the figure 4 tabletop. No struggles and no strains. You can stay right where you are. It's perfectly fine. Squeeze your glutes and lift it just a little higher. And then slowly lower your hips down to the ground. Slowly straighten both legs out. Let's take another forward fold. Inhaling, arms to the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forward. We're nice and warmed up. You can stop at that middle space, reaching out through your hands if you'd like, or just take it all the way to the forward fold. Release any struggle, release any strain, and breathe. Lengthening your spine as you inhale, folding gently forward as you exhale. And then slowly unfolding, we're going to take it to the opposite side. So lift your left knee up, bring it out to the outside of your right leg, and then let the knee just drop towards the floor. Remember, you have the options. Take it below the knee, just take it to the inside of the calf, work on straightening and tall, making your spine tall, breathing there, or bending that right knee and starting to bring it up towards you. This is a really deep stretch of that left hip muscle, so don't push it into pain or pinching. There's a really great expression in yoga says, stay on your own mat, which is a nice way of saying mind your own business. Don't worry about what it is the person next to you can do. This is an experience for your body. You'll get a benefit out of it if you don't force it or try to make it hurt because you think more is better, less is better. Breathe into the areas of tightness, into any areas of restriction, expanding them with the breath, the energy of attention. As you exhale, melt. No struggles and no strains. Stay here, continuing the stretch as it is, or walk your hands back behind you, lifting your hips from the floor into the figure 4 tabletop. Squeezing your gluteal muscles, feel the strength of the pose. Squeeze and lift, and then slowly lower it back down. One more forward fold. I know I've said that twice before. They've all been lies, but this is the truth. Lengthen. Exhale, either stopping, pointing your fingers to where the wall meets the ceiling and reaching out through it, or just take yourself all the way into the forward fold. In the forward fold, you really need to pull that belly to the spine, lengthen your spine, push those knees down into the floor. As you exhale, melt further into it if it's available to you, but take it to what's right for your body. Or in your mind, you can just let go of how long are we going to hold this, or this doesn't feel right. Back out of the pose. Find the expression of the pose that you just strap around the bottom of your feet if you'd like. Just try to get to the place where your back, your spine feels at ease. Gently unfolding, bringing yourself up. We're going to take your block and we're going to put it on the outside of your left foot. Now we're getting tricky. They're like, what's he doing now? Let me just back up so the film audience at home can get the great expression of this. So this is just a little bit of strengthening for your hip flexor. It's really important to pull your belly gently into your spine here. Push your hands down to the floor to help lengthen your spine. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, your belly comes to your spine. The left leg reaches up and over that block. Brilliant. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, belly to the spine, bring that leg back. Now you can turn that block down to a lower level if that feels like it's too. What I want you to do is pay attention to your spine. Your belly comes in like you're trying to pull your belly into a pair of pants from the 1980s. For those of you that were alive in the 1980s, I wasn't, but I heard it was a wonderful time. One more time, belly to the spine, lifting it up and over. And then just take that block and bring it to the outside of your right foot. Same thing. This is a really good exercise for home to practice belly in, lift it up, it's core control, and put it down. Lift it up, belly in, and bring it back. Pushing down into your hands helps to stabilize in the back. Push it up and over, belly to the spine, up and over. Brilliant. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lift both heels from the floor and bring them in to Cobbler's pose. This is another good one where a block is really helpful to sit up on. The other thing you can do to manage this one is to take your feet further away from you. So feel your spine. If it feels like you're rounded or if it's a big effort, slide your feet further out away from you so that you're opening up that diamond. If you feel like you can take it in, that's perfect. The goal is to eventually get your heels all the way in. Let the backs of your hands rest on your knees. Gently, just the weight of your arms, pushing those knees down towards the floor. Some people that feel really, just do a little butterfly. Just tap your knees up and down. Gently allow the spine to relax. So this is a really good exercise to do after you've done things on one side and then the other side, because it's a balancing midline pose. Close your eyes. If you'd like to add a little bit of core control here, we can go through some cat and cow, just gently allowing your belly to spill out towards your feet, letting your belly spill, the back rounds, and then the cat is pulling the belly in, rounding there. It's just a small motion. You don't have to do it. It's one that helps with the lumbar and the sacral connections. Gently rocking, following your breath, inhaling to cow, the belly spills out. Inhaling to cat, the belly pulls in. You can add the upper thoracics with it. The cow, you look up, let your belly and your chest spill forward. Cat, let your chin drop to your chest, the belly to the spine, and round, separating your shoulder blades. So you can add it, that larger component, or you can make it isolated just to the low back. Let's go one more full series. Through the cat and through the cow. And then bringing yourself back to a straight, tall spine, gently bringing your knees up, taking a modified child's pose. So your arms wrap around your knees, your chin drops to your chest, your forehead towards your knees. So if we're doing child's pose and it feels like it's too much for your knees, you can always take this expression of the child's pose. Without struggle, without strain, breathing. And then we're going to cross your ankles, bring yourself onto your knees. So your hands and knees with your shoulders just above your hands, your hips just above your knees. We're going to loosen up those hips a little bit more by just gently taking your hips forward and back. So your hips towards your heels and then your shoulders in front of your hands. So all you got to do is rock backwards and forwards. You can have your feet flat, the tops of your feet, or you can curl your toes under. If you curl your toes under, you get a little bit more stretch on the bottoms of your feet, which is called your plantar fascia. Some people have plantar fasciitis, which is tightness and swelling there. I like doing this because it brings a fluid to your hips and to your shoulders. It is a lubricant and it is nutrient. One more full cycle, taking your shoulders forward of your hands, and then your hips back to your heels. And then we'll just bring your hands just below your shoulders, your hips just below your knees, and begin to slowly circle your shoulders around your hands. Connect that circling to your breath. So inhale, circle. Exhale down the opposite side of the circle. Feel your spine here. If it feels like it's unhealthy, if it doesn't feel supported, pull your belly into your spine to help create stabilization around the spine. One more full circle. And then we'll take the circle in an opposite direction, but try to keep it linked to your breath. Inhaling slowly. Exhaling slowly. So this little motion in weight bearing like this creates a fluid that is both lubricant and nutrient for the joints, for the hips, for the shoulders. One more full circle, and then we'll take it back. So the shoulders are just above. Your hips are just above your knees. We're going to curl your toes under. We're going to do a little warm up before we go into the down dog and before we go into the sun salutations and the pigeon. We're going to take your elbows, turn the creases of your elbows forward. Your hands are planted. That stabilizes your shoulders. So try to keep the creases of your elbows turned forward, your fingertips pointed just ahead of you. Curl your toes under. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, your belly pulls into your spine really tight. Lift your knees an inch from the floor and then drop them back down. So that's core stabilization, recruitment of the core. Creases of your elbows turn forward, exhaling, your belly pulls into your spine. Lift your knees an inch from the floor. We're going to hold it for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. I stutter sometimes, sorry. One more time. Creases of your elbows turn forward. 10,
9. If you count out loud, you won't be holding your breath. You want to make sure you're not holding breath when you do this. Where were we? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and drop the knees down. Flatten the tops of your feet and take a child's pose. If this feels like it's too much for your knees, just go ahead and sit up, wrap your arms around your knees. Take the modified child's pose if you'd like. So if you want to progress your child's pose, spread your knees apart, bringing your chest closer down towards the floor. You can also put the pillow between your calves and your thighs behind you, or a block to take some of the pressure off your knees, or even just sit your block right between your ankles and let your bottom rest on that to support some of the weight off your knees. Wherever you are, take one deep breath. Inhale, feel the sensation of that breath as it enters your nose, as it pushes out on the sides of your rib cage. And as you exhale, see if you can melt, releasing just a little bit of the tension, a little bit of tightness. You don't have to let it all go at one time. No struggles and no strains. We're going to stay here for one more deep inhale, one more slow exhale. And then we'll slide your arms forward in front of you. We'll come back up on your knees. We're going to do the same thing we did a moment ago, except we're going to take it into the full down dog. Now, if that's too much for your wrists, you have options. You can just do your down dog on your elbows, or you can skip the down dog altogether. It's perfectly fine. Lola will not be offended. See, I can move her, I can twist her, I can bend her. So your hands are right underneath your shoulders. The creases of your elbows are turned forward. Toes are curled under. Belly comes to the spine, lifting the knees from the floor and then pressing up into your down dog. So in down dog, the goal is to get both legs straight with your heels on the floor. If you're not there, just walk the dog. That means bend one knee and just work on straightening the opposite one. Hold it for a couple of breaths and then take it to the opposite side, trying to bend the opposite knee and straightening the other one out. If you can get both heels to the ground, your next goal is to lift your hip toes from the floor. Letting your head relax, your neck just dangles. You knew I couldn't get through a class without using my favorite word, dangle. Then you're going to look forward to your hands and either jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for a forward fold. I did say that. Lies. Small bend in your knees. If you have a back problem, bend your knees and slowly roll up with the knees bent. If your back is strong, you can leave those legs straight, but why cause any issue? Once your spine is straight, your chin rises up with your arms looking up as you do a small bend backwards. As you exhale, fold forward, small bend in your knees. Straightening your legs once your fingertips touch the floor or the block. Taking your right foot back and your left foot back into plank. You can do this on your knees. It's perfectly fine. If you're on straight arms, try to have your elbows turned so that the creases face forward. Exhale to the floor. Try to keep your elbows right in by your side. And then take it to up dog or cobra, either leaving your knees on the floor or lifting them. Push down into the floor to lengthen your spine. If any pose doesn't feel right for you, stop. Take it back to chaturanga, back to down dog. We're going to do our first pigeon on the left. So if you're using the block, put the block or the pillow on the left. Get it in position, and I'll show you how we're going to use this in a moment. Inhale your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your left knee to your left wrist, your left ankle to your right wrist. If you're using the block, what you're going to do is slide it right underneath your hip so that hip is not hanging out in the air. Remember, if this is too much for you, you can just sit down like I showed you before, bringing your ankle to rest over your knee, or you can lie on your back. Bring your left ankle to your right knee and pull that right knee and that left ankle in towards your chest. That's the modification. Push down into your arms to lengthen. This is a really good stretch for the piriformis on the left, for the psoas on the right. If you've ever been one of my patients, I've stuck my elbow in your piriformis, I've stuck my fingers in your psoas, and you didn't like either of them. Stay right there, or if you'd like, come down onto your elbows. Find an expression of the pose you can hold with ease. Stay right there or drop all your chest. If your hips touch the ground, you don't need the block, but that's a really good way to modify it. If the block isn't high enough, use a pillow. If you don't have one of our yoga pillows, just grab one. They're right on the side. There's some under the table over here. There's some in the hallway. Breathe. This is a resting position. It shouldn't feel like pinching or pain. Breathe so that your belly expands. Exhaling slowly. No struggles, no strains. One more deep inhale here. One more slow exhale. And then slowly, if you're down on your chest, push yourself up to your elbows and then up to your hands. Curl the toes of your right foot under and then try to push yourself back to down dog. Don't worry about how you get there. If it's not quite as graceful as me, I've been in ballet for 20 years. I was kicked out of more ballets than I can remember. Take it back to down dog and breathe. Look forward to your hands. Jump or step your feet to meet your hands. Straightening your legs for a forward fold. If you have a bad back, keep the small bend in your knees as you round up, leaving your chest resting on your, leaving your chin resting on your chest until your spine is straight. And then follow your arms with a small inhale, arching back. A small exhale, follow your breath to the floor. Bend your knees if you have a bad back. When your fingertips touch the floor, then you straighten your legs out. Inhale to a flat back, which I forgot last time, lifting your head and shoulders. I'm sure it'll be in the class notes. You forgot. Exhale down. Inhale, step or jump your feet back into plank. Remember, you can be on your elbows for this if you'd like, but if your arms are straight, creases of your elbows turn forward, lowering yourself to the floor in chaturanga, then to up dog or cobra, back to the floor in chaturanga, and back to down dog. So the pigeon on the opposite side. So if you're using that block or you're using a pillow, bring it over to your right side. Inhale your right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale your right knee to your right wrist, your right ankle to your left wrist, and then bring it down into your pigeon. If your right hip is not touching the floor, slide something under it. Use a block, use a pillow, use a small child, whatever you have at the ready. Push down into the floor to lengthen, straightening your arms, and then bring it down to your elbows if that's available to you. Stay there or drop all the way down to your chest, finding the expression of the pose you can hold with ease. Remember that this is too much for your knees. Lie onto your back, put your right ankle onto your left knee, and then draw that left knee and that right ankle in towards your chest with your hands behind the left thigh. It's a perfect modification for the pigeon, allowing you to do the deepest opening of that right piriformis and your left psoas. Two muscles that are really important in low back pain. The piriformis, the psoas, and the hamstring, they're the three key muscles most everybody with back pain has dysfunction in. See if you can bring all of your focus and attention to just one more breath. Deeply taken into the bottom of your lungs. Feel it as it enters. Feel it as it slowly escapes. And then slowly begin to push yourself up onto your elbows if you're folded forward, pushing yourself up onto your hands. Curl the toes of your left foot under, take it back to down dog. Creases of your elbows turn forward. Lift your heels from the floor, drop down to your knees, and bring yourself up into a tall kneeling position. Now, if you'd like, if it's bad on your knees, you can just take your mat and fold it over. We also have little foam pads that you can use. They're right over against the wall if you need a little bit more. One of the benefits of being here, actually, at Back to Health Physical Therapy, I'm going to move back because my head's cut off. We can't have that. It's the moneymaker. So we're going to be on your high knees. If you're folded, that's perfectly fine. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, take your right leg out to the right.
So the big toe side of your foot can be flat on the floor, or if you'd like, you can try and get your foot completely flat. That just stretches the outside of the ankle, the ligaments, the tendons. Take a deep inhale, let the arms rise towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades come down and away from your ears. Lengthen with an inhale. On the exhale, drop your right hand to your right knee and then reach over with your left arm. Your chest facing the wall in front of you, not the floor. Look up at your left arm if it doesn't bother your neck, and just feel that opening through the whole left side, the left rib cage, the left hip. This is stretching a muscle called your quadratus lumborum. It's another one that people have problems with, especially if you can point to pain on one side of your back or the other. A quadratus lumborum is usually involved. One more deep inhale here. Really feel the opening of that rib cage. As you exhale, bring your right hand back up to meet your left. Bring both hands into heart center. And then bring that right knee underneath of you, and we'll prepare for the opposite side. So taking your left leg out to the side, the big toe side of your foot can just rest there on the floor, or you can flatten it out. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, left hand to left leg, right arm reaches up and over, chest facing the wall in front of you. Looking up at your right arm if it doesn't bother your neck, and breathing deeply into your belly. Feel that rib cage, feel that quadratus lumborum stretching on the right. No struggles and no strains. Breathe. One more deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring your left hand back up to meet your right, palms together, bringing it down to the center of your chest, bringing your left leg underneath of you, slowly bringing yourself down to sit, down to your hips, and then swing your legs out in front. I'd love to do another forward fold, but I don't want to be scolded for it. So we're just going to lower ourselves down to our backs. Whatever way you get there is fine. If you're working on abdominal strength, bring your arms out in front of you, pull your belly to your spine, and slowly lower one vertebra at a time to the floor, maintaining that belly into your spine, maintaining breathing. If you have a bad back, just use your arms to help lower you down. Just let them take half of the work. Perfectly fine. Whatever way you get to the floor, whatever way you get to final relaxation is grand. So if you have a bad back and you'd like something underneath your knees, just leave your knees bent, and I'll bring you one of these exercise balls. It's a really good way to release your back after you've been in a yoga practice. So if you'd like something underneath your knees, just leave your knees bent, and I will bring you a ball. For you, my dear Christine. There you go. And for you, you can have a pillow if you'd like. Would you like a purple pillow or an orange pillow?
The orange would be perfect for Halloween.
Orange, aren't you glad I didn't say banana? So just close your eyes for a moment. Let your arms rest by your side, the palms facing up. Breathing. Bringing your awareness just to the depth of your breath. Inhaling through your nose. Feel that air as it comes in. Use your breath as a point of focus and awareness. That simply means that if you lose your focus, if your mind wanders to the grocery list or where are you going now or what are those kids up to, just gently bring it back to your breath. We're only asking for a few moments of mindfulness here. Once you start to become aware of the relaxation and the ease that mindfulness brings, your mind will choose to find more of these moments. Whether it's at a red light sitting in your car, just bringing your awareness to your breath, or after you've hung up from a phone conversation, whether it be troubling or joyful, just to sit with what is in the moment is mindfulness. And it becomes infectious. It becomes something you want to do more of. So let your breath be your point of focus. If you lose the awareness of the breath, just gently bring yourself back to it. For the next 10 deep inhales and 10 slow exhales, count each breath backwards from 10 to 0, silently to yourself. If you lose your count, just gently bring yourself back to it. Stay. If you lose your focus, just gently bring it back to the breath. If your mind wanders, bring it back to focus. And then I'm going to ask you to shift your attention, your thought, your mind to a thought of awareness for which you are grateful. Something for which you are grateful. A great meal, a wonderful family, great laughter, an amazing kiss. Whatever it is for which you are grateful, bring it to mind and hold it in mind. Take a moment to feel your body in gratitude with the energy of gratitude as your focus. Find something simple, find something more complex, but just be in gratitude for a moment. And then allow your mind to come to stillness. Release any thoughts, any attachments. Let your mind come to stillness. If you get distracted by sound, a noise, a thought entering your mind, notice it, but don't attach to it. Don't give it a story. We're going to slowly start to bring your attention back to this moment. So start to bring your attention to just your hands and your feet, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, just feeling those small joints as they move. Have that be your focus. Then spread your fingers apart, spread your toes apart. Feel the space between your fingers, feel the space between your toes. Let that be your awareness. And then curl your fingers into a fist, curl your toes under, and just feel the stretch of the skin over your knuckles. Feel the stretch of the skin over the tops of your toes. Let your hands relax, let your feet relax. Bring your focus and attention to your neck. Just gently let your head rock from side to side on the floor. Let it move in whatever way feels comfortable for it. Bring your awareness to the spine, to the muscles around it, to the movement of those bones. And then let your head come to rest wherever it finds itself comfortable. Your next inhale, let your arms rise up towards the ceiling as your lungs fill to the very bottom. As you empty your lungs, let your arms fall to the floor behind you. As you take your next inhale, reach back with your fingertips, reach forward with the heels of your feet. As you exhale, gently pull your knees into your chest, let your arms float down to wrap around your knees. Hugging them into your chest, letting your shoulders relax, letting your jaw relax. Just gently rock from side to side, using the floor to bring awareness to the spine. And then when you're ready, roll onto your right side into a fetal position. Your knees gently drawn up towards your chest. You can make a pillow with your hands to support your head and your neck. Use your block or pillow, whatever you've got. And then bring your awareness to one more breath, one deep inhale. Feel that breath as it enters through your nose. And as it exhales, feel the sensation of that breath as it leaves. Breathe. And then when you're ready, gently push yourself up to an easy seated position. Easy seated position is anyone where your spine is at ease. So if you want to sit in a chair or sit on a ball, that's perfectly fine. Sit up on a block or sit up on a pillow to help take some ease to your spine. Let the backs of your hands come to rest on the tops of your knees and close your eyes. Take a deep lengthening breath, reaching the top of your head up towards the ceiling like an accordion, reaching. And as you exhale, see if you can hold that tall and lengthened posture with ease. Another deep inhale lengthens your spine. With an exhale, let your hands float into the heart center in a prayer position. Gently let your chin drop down. You guys have done a wonderful job. Once again, namaste. Have a wonderful day. It's one of those tomato soup and grilled cheese looking kind of days. Or at least it was when we came in. Have a great day. Just a matter of, we will be here next Saturday. We are doing a free class Wednesday, November 3rd. It's a shoulder clinic where if you know anybody that wants to come and have their shoulders checked, not necessarily for physical therapy, but we'll assess them to see if we can give them a home program to work on shoulder problems at home, because not everybody can afford to come to physical therapy or have insurance. If they are appropriate for physical therapy, we will tell them. We're not going to push somebody away. But it's November the 3rd. It's Wednesday. It's 5:30 to 6:30, and it's free. And if it's free, it's for me. It's my mantra in life. So if you know anybody that's interested, they can go to our Back to Health page. We have a page on Facebook. We also have a web page. It's just and there's a little flyer. It's on Facebook. If you're not a friend of ours on Back to Health on Facebook, be a friend and you'll find out about all this stuff. But we will be here next Saturday. Probably not the Saturday after that. If all goes well, we'll be moving the following Saturday or coming up. So, and happy Halloween. You good, Lola? Are we good? You gave your blessing to the class? Yes, she did. She's always. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, Bill. That was really fun.
It did.
Sometimes it's kind of like, yeah. Well, and then I made the mistake one time being real close to here where it was like, I could see the camera without looking at it.
Like I always
Yeah.